When you're looking to purchase a home, you typically work with two people, the real estate agent and your mortgage lender. Today, I decided to bring on my lender to talk more about the financing side of real estate.
My name is Thornton with Element Funding.
Thank you, Tanner's Lakeside, for allowing us to come in here, absorb this beautiful view here right on the chain of lakes here in Winter Haven. Today's episode is going to be really geared towards mortgages, lender questions. For that reason, I brought in my good friend Dave Thornton with Element Funding. And I don't know, you do what, 99% of my buyer side deals, right?
Yeah.
And that's really cool, but I think what's more important than that is he's a local guy. And to have somebody that is a stone's throw away versus somebody that's in another zip code or another time zone is super important. Very competitive market. So I always encourage my people to stick local. And he's top 1% too as well. So you can't beat that. But thank you for showing up to the show, man.
Awesome.
I really appreciate that. So top 1%.
Yep, tops in the country.
In the country.
Yeah.
So what did it take for you to get there? What kind of work and dedication? I get to see it, but coming from you.
Well, I answer the phones 7 days a week. You know, I think we're all on the same team. You know, both realtors, the buyers and the seller's agent, and the people trying to buy a house. You know, they deserve the best. They deserve to somebody answer the phone, answer their questions when things are heated up. I mean, it's the most stressful decision of your life. And especially in this market, if you wait 10 minutes, you may lose out on an offer. I mean, it used to be you could make an offer and it'd be two people. Now there's two people making an offer a minute, it seems like. But
and I spoke about that. It's very competitive. Time is of the essence, right? And if you're going with a bigger lender that's in California somewhere and you need somebody to get on the phone to answer a question or fix a situation for you, like having somebody in your backyard, super important. That's the difference between maybe getting the home of your dreams or settling for some other house.
Right.
Time is of the essence. I get this a lot. People that are kind of saying that they're on the edge. I don't know if I want to buy right now. I'd rather rent. And this is going on years. I know people that are continuing to rent, waiting on a correction or the time to jump in, and rent is skyrocketing skyrocketing right now. And the fact is that you're putting dollars in somebody else's pocket, or you're putting dollars back into your pocket. You and I spoke earlier today about building wealth and how it's so common for people to do it through real estate because it's the easiest thing that you have to have a roof to stay under. So you're either renting or you own.
Right.
One of the two things.
last year, real estate went up 18.5%. Rent went up $300 across the board. So that means some didn't go up and some others went up a lot.
Yeah.
So, I think, and the number one way to build wealth is through your house. $300 in rent equates to about $70,000 more buying power at today's rates.
Yeah.
So you can buy $70,000 more house and then appreciate up 18.5%.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about interest rates, where we're at. I get this a lot, right? Everybody wants to know, where we're at. Is the Fed's increasing the rate? What's going on by the end of 2022? Right. What could you tell us?
Well, what affects rates is the 10-year Treasury. It's the bond, and that's really what drives the rates. And as inflation goes up and the stock market goes down, people pull their money from the stock market and they put it in bonds. So a 10-year Treasury kind of follows the bond. And we're in a raising rates right now.
Yeah.
So the last 30 days, the 10-year Treasury has gone up more than it has in 30 years, quicker. So the rates have gone up, but they're still in the low to mid threes, maybe the upper threes right now, depending on what you're doing for a 30-year conforming mortgage. It's crazy. 3 years ago, that same person was almost 5%. So they're still great and it's still good. And they're not saying they're going to go into the fours until maybe 2024, but they're going to stay good where you can buy a home right now.
And even if they touch the fours, as he was saying, it's still a great time to buy. Interest rates are still low. Go and ask your great-grandparents what their interest rate was when they purchased their home, right? They're gonna tell you, go get you a house right now, because that's insane. It's still super low. So.
My first mortgage was 8%.
There you go.
Yeah, so,
there you go. Get me something for 4, I'll be pleased.
Right, yeah, it's a lot of buying power.
Yeah.
And 1/8% basically is $18, $20 a month. So, if you're 1/4%, it's about $30 or $40 a month difference. And you're still investing in your future. You're still building wealth.
Or you can spend the extra $300 and go, rent from somebody else and help them build wealth.
Yeah, the only person that wins is the landlord.
Right.
Don't forget to stop into Tanner's Lakeside in Winter Haven, Florida. This family-friendly restaurant is located right on the beautiful chain of lakes and serves some of the best seafood dishes in town, along with some household favorites like this blue cheese bacon burger. You can either drive in or pull up on boat and enjoy some live music while relaxing on the lakeside. Tanner's Lakeside, restaurant and bar.
But the time has come for all of my clients who has purchased last year, Homestead Exemption. What that is you can get an exemption on your taxes, essentially, for living in the house, right? And claiming it as your very own homesteaded property, right? But you have to do this by the 28th of February.
Yeah, I hear it a lot. People say by March 1st. March 1st is too late. It has to be the last day of February.
I say jump on it right now. I mean, this is what we're in February 6th, 7th right now. And for all of my clients watching out there right now who've purchased a home last year, jump on it. Jump on it.
Absolutely, don't forget it, because they won't go back. And it'll take you 2 years to recoup because you pay your taxes in the arrears.
Right.
So your taxes for this year, you don't pay until November.
Yeah.
So it will go up November up until the following November.
And you don't want that. You don't want that. But the way you can do it, you can go to your property appraiser site, right? Whichever county you're in. We're in Polk. We do a lot of business in Polk, so Polk, PA.
Online.
And you have, a couple of forms of ID and a form that you have to fill out?
You can do it online now, but you have to have a Social Security card or a verification of Social Security. The deed has to be in your name by January 1st of the year you're filing. You have to have a driver's license, and then 2 forms of ownership, like a car tag, electric bill, or what have you. But your driver's license and the deed are the 2 big things.
Right. So now you know what a homestead exemption is, right?
It's considerable.
It really is.
It's $25,000 for a single person, $50,000 comes off the assessed value if it's 2 people. 65 and older can get up to another $50,000.
$50,000. Like how much could that save you in tax?
Depending on the tax where you're at, I mean it's a good $700 to $1,300 a year.
I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
I'll take it all day.
For the veterans, because we've had a few, if they're disabled, they can, depending on how much they are disabled, they get 100% of their normal taxes to zero.
Wow.
They get 100% off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dave and I do a ton of deals together, very knowledgeable, local, but he knows his stuff. And if I ever have a question, there's been plenty of times I called you, you've been eating dinner with the family, you picked up the phone for me, right?
Always.
Super important too. So
we're all on the same team.
We're all on the same team.
Yeah, everybody.
The only disagreement that I have with Dave is that he is a huge Gator fan, and it's not much of a disagreement. My wife is a Gator alumni, but Gator guy, obviously local Central Florida native.
Oh yeah, true Central Florida native. Yeah, I know the area, I know the real estate, I know a lot of people.
You've seen it blossom from orange groves to now like houses that you cannot stop seeing over there in like the Davenport area, right?
I do a lot of business with people moving from up north, and I tell them, I remember between Clearmont and Haines City, there was 2 stoplights. And you could go to a Gator game, right, in about 2 hours or less. I don't know what it would take now.
Yeah, an airplane.
Yeah, about another hour, yeah.
The Lakeland, Winter Haven, Tampa, Orlando, all of Central Florida, that has been, in the past 2 years, like a hotbed for people. Like we've been like top in the nation for people that are, moving to Florida or Texas or anything like that. Just, you consider that, I consider that to be like a great investment for people, but have you been seeing a lot of incoming traffic from out-of-staters?
Absolutely. I read an article last week where Orlando, Tampa, and now Lakeland are top 20 in the country of growing, and I think the I-4 corridor between Tampa and Orlando is one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing areas.
Absolutely.
In the country.
Yeah, and what makes Lakeland and Winter Haven and all of in between Tampa and Orlando so awesome is that you can get to the hot spots without being in the traffic, and the prices are pretty affordable here too as well. So
they're real affordable compared to some of the bigger cities.
Yeah.
And quality of life in Central Florida is really good. I talked to a guy this morning and it was 9 degrees and I think it was 8 o'clock this morning, and it was 68, or was it?
Look at us, mid-February.
Yeah.
You see us, like
yeah,
we're
we're
hanging
gonna go
out
skiing next,
we're
right?
hanging on the chain of lakes right now. So, interest rates rising, and everybody was kind of asking those types of questions. But we've also seen an increase in loan limits, right? Like FHA,
Right,
conventional
right,
VA.
right.
FHA was like a big one, and a lot of people think FHA is like first-time home buyer loan, but it's actually the Federal Housing Administration.
Right.
And you guys might know it as the 3.5% down loan. Really awesome loan, but the loan has increased, right? The limit.
Right, that's to $420,680.
Yeah,
I mean,
and what that means is it just gives people more buying power. It gives you more opportunity out here in a really competitive market, right? To have a great loan that used to be limited in the 300s, the high 300s. Now you're up there in the 400s, and you can compete with some of these other people with conventional loans and stuff. So.
Right. Yeah, conventional loan went to $647,200, and the VA went along with it, the same amount. And of course, you can do a jumbo after that. You can actually do a VA loan up to $1.5 million now.
This is great news.
Yeah.
It's really good news. It really puts more power in your pocket as a buyer, and also, the lender giving you the opportunity to really compete with these houses out here. So.
Right. Yeah, and the FHA loan, you can do a 203K.
Yep,
With it.
we're going through one right now.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, I'll go show a house, and somebody will really love the location, love the home, but they don't like the floors or they don't like the cabinets, and they might not have the cash to fix these things up. That's fine. We can roll this up into a 203K loan.
Right.
And the best part about it is it's all going to be under one loan for you, right? You don't have to worry about coming out of pocket with a bunch of cash. So, that's fine. We can find a home in the perfect area for you, and you can invest into your house too as well under one loan.
And it did take a lot more time than a regular FHA loan. We have a division and Element Funding, it's all they do.
Yeah.
So they're professionals in what they're doing. They will walk us through the process, and it's just a step or two if you do the limited. And you can do up to $35,000 worth of repairs. That's a lot.
Right. That is, that's floors, cabinets, countertops right there. Boom.
And the one thing is everybody's going to ask, no pools or jacuzzis.
No pools or jacuzzis. So if you see a house, you cannot roll that into a 203K.
Yeah, or an outdoor kitchen. One of the most important things I always try to do is pick up the phone for people, because they're stressed. They're calling me for a reason.
Yeah.
And you need to answer it. I always tell people that sometimes bad news is better than no news.
Yep.
And in even good news, if you got it to give and you don't give it, they're going to fear the worst.
I can attest to you picking up the phone.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's a very stressful buying a home, especially now, because there's a lot of people in the market. There's a lot of offers. You're going against multiple offers. You chose us, which I think is a good thing because we're known in this area, but I think it's super stressful for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that you got to treat people, answer their questions, and get rid of as much of the stress as you can. Yeah, because I understand it. I see it. I hadn't bought a house in a long time.
Right.
But I deal with a lot of people, and I know what they go through.
Yeah.
And there's no stupid question, right?
Yeah.
There's only good answers. And I think that people, they're spending a lot of money, a lot of time, going through a lot of stress. They deserve to be treated. They're not a number, like a big bank, the .coms. I think they deserve everything that we can give them.